Hey guys, not Jason from Thin Line Defense, and today we're going to be looking at low visibility plate carriers. Let's get into it. So for those of you that have been here for a while, you know that we have a low visibility plate carrier series that we're doing, and this is now the 6th carrier in that series. But first, before we get into today's carrier, let's recap where we are so far with our rankings. In first place, with its minimalist approach, solid construction, and color features, is the IIIA LVZ OVT. In second place, with its accessories and purpose-built construction, is a Kanai Vicarian plate carrier. Now, as I said in my last video, Kanai is sadly out of business, and so you can't actually purchase this carrier right now. I really like it though, and I want to keep it here. In third place, with its major affordability, is the LA Police Gear Low Vis plate carrier. In fourth place is the Grey Ghost Gear minimalist carrier. Finally, in fifth place, with its good construction but high price point, is the T-Rex Arms AC1. Now, these were my standings at the end of my T-Rex Arms AC1 video that I did last month. And I want to make sure to let our viewers know that T-Rex Arms had a significant price cut on their AC1. Now, my biggest complaint that I had with the T-Rex Arms AC1 was that, it was an okay carrier, but you're paying more than any of the other carriers that we had reviewed up to that point. And sometimes you're paying twice or three times as much as some of the carriers that we had reviewed up to that point. Now, I don't know if this is permanent, but the price on the AC1 is about 15% less than what it was when I did my review last month, and that puts it in line with the MSRP of a lot of the carriers that we have reviewed so far and that we will review going forward. Because of that, I'm going to reevaluate my rankings and move the AC1 up to 4th place. But enough about that. Today I want to talk about the carrier that the AC1, the IIIA, a lot of these low-vis carriers are compared to, and that is the Ferro Concepts Slickster. Now, what I mean when I said that is, if you spend any time on Reddit or forums or anything like that, and you ask a question about the AC1, or you ask a question about the IIIA LVZ OVT, someone's going to come in and say something like, well, they just ripped off the design of the Ferro Concepts Slickster. So I figured let's go to the source and take a look at the Slickster and compare it with the other carriers that we've done so far. Ferro Concepts started like most small tactical businesses, just one guy sewing stuff together in his garage. Now, one of the things that they kind of highlight on the website is a feeling I think a lot of us have. We get a product that we think is going to be great, we start using it, and there's frustrations that we have with that product. We wish it would have performed a little differently, or we wish it was made with a different material. And that's what it seems like the founder of Ferro Concepts was dealing with as well, that they were going out and getting products and then having frustrations with them and deciding, you know what, I think we could do better. Ferro likes to say that they listen to customer feedback as if the customer was at the drawing board with them. Is it fair to compare all these other carriers that we reviewed to the Ferro Slickster? Is this really the best of the bunch? Well, let's take a look, get on the bench, tear this thing apart, and see what we got. Before we do that, I just want to point out that I did not buy this carrier brand new from Ferro. I did buy this used from a viewer. He knew that we were doing this low-vis series. He didn't want this carrier anymore, so it worked out perfect for me. Following what I did in my AC1 video, I have this thing broken apart to get a better look at all the pieces. On the front plate bag, you have a small Velcro area up top. This is a little bigger than the AC1 Velcro area. And then you also have these laser cut slots for the QASM buckles. Now, I do like the look of this laser cut more than the moly webbing that you see with the AC1 and the LA Police Gear. But as you can see, the removal and installation of the QASM buckles have caused a lot of wear here. Now, IIIA solved this problem by reinforcing this area with stitching. And I want to point out that if you are just going to set this carrier up for one mission set and that's all it's going to be, you probably don't have to worry about this. For us, and we tend to review different things on our carriers, or review a carrier multiple times, or show it in different settings, there's a lot of changes that we make to the carriers, and so doing that over these last couple months that I've owned this carrier, you really see the wear in this area. Now, back on the bench, we see a large Velcro section down below. It's great for attaching placards, and it's where the Cummerbund attaches. Now, here are the shoulder straps, and this goes into a problem I have with this carrier. The shoulder straps are adjusted using the rear back, just about every other carrier we've reviewed has very easy to adjust shoulder straps that you can do even while you're wearing the thing. It's like Ferro wanted to use the most annoying way possible to adjust the shoulder straps, and by golly, they nailed it. Again, to be fair to Ferro, they do market their product for law enforcement and military. Maybe, I haven't asked them this, but maybe the idea of having the shoulder straps go all the way into the rear plate bag, you have some added stability or some strength there. There's less fear of it tearing apart like you would have on the Audi gear or something like that. Now, to be doubly fair, I think that's a bunch of phooey, to use a technical term. If you want a load-bearing vest, buy a load-bearing vest. But don't market this as a low-vis carrier and then just make the shoulder adjustments a giant pain. Now, one perk of this style though, you can stuff any extra COM cords into the rear plate bag, so that is nice. We'll look at the rear plate bag a little closer in a bit. I just want to finish up on this front bag. On the back of the front bag, we see an entire section of mesh, and this just helps with moisture wicking and comfort. Very different than the T-Rex arms that had a very small strip of mesh. This plate carrier is a lot more comfortable than the T-Rex arms. Finally, on the bottom of the plate bag, we see something that none of the other carriers have. Some laser cut sections to allow tourniquets or other gear to be stowed below the bag. Alright, let's take a look at the rear bag. Very similar to the front bag, just a larger Velcro area here. This doesn't have a flap that closes over the cummerbund. Although I think that flap adds extra security to the cummerbund, I doubt anyone will have issues with this cummerbund coming undone. Now, unlike some of the other carriers we've reviewed, this carrier does not come with shoulder pads. Ferro does have a couple options if you want to throw some more money at this system. Finally, let's take a look at the cummerbund. Now, I like this cummerbund design more than the T-Rex Arms AC1 in that it's really designed to hold 4 AR mags on each side. And the elastic pouches are a little wider than others and easily allow you to accommodate AK mags if you like those firearms better. The construction of this is fine. The elastic is actually holding up better than I thought it would. However, these handles have some tears already. Now, I'm not sure how well these will hold up over a longer period than just a few months. My Audi gear I've had for almost a year and don't have these tears on the handles. Now, we don't see these handles on these carriers a whole lot. The Ferro Concepts and the Audi gear are the only ones that really have these handles, and I do like them for the ease of taking stuff off. It is just kind of convenient, even if you have a gloved hand, to grab that handle and just pull that cummerbund off you. But these tears here might be something I'm going to have to revisit over and over and over again just to make sure that they don't get any worse. Now, like on the Audi gear and on this one, I feel like those handles are a pro because it makes it easier to get the carrier off you. I may have to rethink that though, and maybe this turns into a giant con where these things fall apart eventually. So I'll be paying extra attention to the handles on this carrier and the Audi gear carrier over the next couple months. Alright, let's get into the sizing of this carrier. Ferro has 2 different sizes. Medium fits 10 by 12 plates. No steel here. I think they even use bold print on their website to tell you that, but just don't do it. The large fits plates up to 10.5 inches by 13.5 inches. We're showing a medium size plate carrier since all of the plates that I have are 10 by 12 for the most part. Now, if you decide to get some thin 10 by 12 level 3A plates, they fit great in this area. And it is big enough to easily fit the 10 by 12 level 4 LA police gear plates. All right, let's take a look at this under a jacket. I think this conceals great, even under a jacket with magazines in place. If you were to open up the jacket, it's fine. Zipped up, you get a big enough jacket, conceals just fine. All right, let's take a look at expandability. Now, Ferro has this whole series they call the Adapt system. Some cool options in the cummerbund department where you can add some accessories to allow for a Cobra buckle connection. Pass. They also have this assault cummerbund, which looks like a layer of Tegris to help this be more of a load-bearing carrier. Now, I didn't buy any of these to show up on the video because, well, I'm too cheap. And I like the idea of the tube buckles or the rock buckles more than Cobra buckles for a QD on a Cummerbund. But due to the ease of swapping Cummerbunds, this can easily be swapped for a load-bearing Cummerbund like the defense mechanisms one we have here. I don't think you would have issues with the Ferro Assault Cummerbund, but this defense mechanisms Cummerbund is cheaper and you have more color options. Alright, let's look at the options you could select from Ferro Concepts for the Slickster. Besides the sizes I've already mentioned, you have color options of multicam, multicam black, coyote brown, ranger green, which is what we have here obviously, black, and wolf gray. Now, I do like that all of their colors are matching. T-Rex Arms may have fixed the ridiculous pricing. I still hate that black Velcro and elastic on all their solid colors. Alright, so where does that leave us with the Ferro Slickster? It's 160 bucks. Pricing is comparable with the MSRP of almost everything else we've tested. But there's nothing special you get with that. Remember, for 160, you get the Audi Gear LVZ OBT with the placard and shoulder pads. Now, you add to that the potential construction issues that I showed where the laser slots for the QASM buckles and the tears in the grab handles for the Cummerbund, and I'm not very optimistic about this carrier. Now, I pulled this quote from their website. Ferro Concepts says, quote, "We make the best gear for the toughest jobs, armed forces, and law enforcement professionals." And as someone that has been in the armed forces and someone that has been a law enforcement officer, this carrier gives me pause with its construction issues. Can I trust this carrier with my life? I don't know. And a carrier that I can't trust is a carrier that I don't need. And because of that, this carrier is unfortunately going in last place in our rankings. But I appreciate you guys sticking around with me as I rant and rave about this carrier, mostly rant, I guess. I just want to close by saying thanks to our Patreons and our YouTube members. You guys make these videos possible, and your support means the world to us. And thanks to everyone that likes, comments, and subscribes. Comment down below, let me know what you think about this carrier. Alright guys, I'm out.